Dita Von Teese, the woman who turned beauty into power. In a world driven by the new, she chose the timeless. In an era obsessed with exposure, she created mystery. And in an industry that often demanded conformity, she created her own empire. This is the story of Heather Renée Sweet, known to the world as Dita Von Teese. The woman who reinvented extraordinary, redefined glamour and proved that beauty itself could be an act of rebellion. Heather Renée Sweet was born on September 28, 1972, in Rochester, Michigan, far from the velvet curtains and spotlight that would one day define her life. She grew up fascinated by a different era. Hollywood's golden age, vintage lingerie, classic pin-up art, and the unapologetic glamour of the 1940s and 50s. While other kids followed trends, Heather collected dreams from the past. At just 13, she began training as a classical ballet dancer, studying movement, posture, and discipline. Lessons that would later shape her stage presence. But even then, she felt different. She didn't want to fit in. She wanted to stand out. In her early 20s, Heather moved to California, where she worked in lingerie stores and danced in clubs, not out of ambition for fame, but to survive. She soon realized something important. The modern strip club world didn't reflect her vision. So she did something radical. She reinvented herself. She chose the name Dita Von Teese, inspired by silent film actress Dita Parlo, a name that seemed from another century. With pale skin, dark hair, red lips, and a playful corset, she created a persona that was timeless and unforgettable. It wasn't imitation. It was art direction of her own life. When burlesque was considered old-fashioned, Dita brought it back, but on her own terms. She didn't perform to shock. She performed to control. Her performances were slow, deliberate, theatrical. A martini glass bath, a feather fan dance, a striptease that felt more like a ritual than a revelation. Dita Von Teese transformed burlesque into high art. Fashion designers took notice. Photographers lined up. Audiences around the world were captivated. She wasn't just dancing. She was healing desire. Dita Von Teese was never content to be just an artist. She became a brand, without losing her authenticity. She launched her own lingerie line, fragrance collection, beauty and glamour books, and became a muse for designers like Jean-Paul Gaultier. Her philosophy was clear. You don't have to be naked to be sexy. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. In an industry that often overproduces, Dita achieved success through restraint, sophistication, and self-possession. Her marriage to musician Marilyn Manson attracted intense media attention, a fusion of darkness and glamour. But behind the headlines, the relationship struggled. In 2007, Dita made her own choice, filing for divorce and leaving quietly, without a show. It was a turning point. She didn't let heartbreak define her story. She returned to the stage stronger, more independent, more focused on her craft than ever. Today, Dita Von Teese is recognized not only as a performer, but also as a cultural icon. She represents consent, choice, self-definition, the power of aesthetic discipline. She proved that femininity can be intellectual, that sensuality can be intentional, and that a woman can control the gaze without being consumed by it. Dita Von Teese didn't just bring back burlesque. She reminded the world that elegance never goes out of style, and that the most powerful renewal begins with knowing who you are. From Heather Renée Sweet to a global icon, her journey proves that when a woman owns her identity, she doesn't follow trends, she becomes timeless.